Jim and Kay are just salt of the earth people. They're just regular, down to earth people.
They have a way of honoring friends and being committed to the community they live in.
No matter what your circumstance or your stature in life is, they make it easy for you to be friends and to enjoy their fellowship.
Generous people with generous hearts, and I love that.
I was a first-year law student at Lewis and Clark College looking for an intern job, and his firm, I don't think was necessarily looking, but I kind of fell into it. A couple of years later, as I'm ready to graduate, my wife is pregnant with my twin daughters, and Jim came into my office and asked me if I wanted to work for him as an associate. I said that would be great. And then he also said, I also have a favor to ask of you. I've got a house down on the river. I'm not ready to sell it, but I need a tenant. And I said, Jim, I couldn't possibly afford to rent a house on the river with the salary you're paying me. And he said, listen, all I really want is somebody to take good care of the house, and I know you can do that. I think it's an example of the kind of generosity that Jim and Kay have. I think anyone that knows Jim and Kay has either witnessed or been the beneficiary of that kind of generosity over the years. And we certainly were, and we were grateful for that. 31 years later, I can call Jim a mentor first, a partner, and now just a good friend.
What I loved about both of them was they didn't just sit on a board just to listen. They wanted to make a difference. They wanted to have an impact. They wanted to keep the things that were going if they were the right things.
When they get involved with a cause or an organization, they're all in. And that's not just writing the check to support it. It's really being hands-on and making sure that the outcome is what was intended. And they're willing to work whatever it takes to make that happen.
One of the responsibilities that I had when I worked for the school district was the School District Foundation. And one of the first people that I really wanted on my board was Kay, because I knew she would help get this off the ground. We started with $50,000. Along with other community members, we were able to grow that from a shoebox into $1 million foundation, and it's much more than that today.
Well, it started in 2007. Tori Darnell works for our community program, and she asked if I would give a tour to a couple at the bereavement center. So of course, I'd be happy to. And the couple was Jim and Kay McClaskey. And I remember specifically, Kay just stopped and her eyes just lit up and something happened for her. I don't know what it was. And it wasn't until a couple days later that Tori called me and said that Jim shared with me that Jim and Kay wanted to donate to the camp. We take families to bereavement camp in Canby Grove Conference Center. The retreat is absolutely fantastic. We bring about 20 families down to camp. It's just an incredible experience. Jim and Kay sponsored that first year in 2007. They have now sponsored every year since, and we would not be able to offer this without their funding, but beyond that is their passion for the program. And it's wonderful for the families to be able to say thank you to them as well.
Well, I don't even remember what year it was anymore, but Jim got bit hard by the boat bug and decided he had to own a boat. So he bought this beautiful 32-foot Collecraft boat.
What I love about Jim and his fishing is that he shared it with everyone. All of his friends had a chance to get out on that boat and catch a fish. I also remember one day being out in the worst weather imaginable. We were all so wet, just soaking, and he didn't give up. I believe we were skunked that day, but he didn't give up.
But we had great trips. We caught a lot of fish. We lost a lot of fish. I guess that's why they call it fishing instead of catching. I am just thrilled that Jim and Kay are being honored as philanthropists of the year. You know, they're not the kind of folks that are real splashy with their philanthropy, with their donations, but they're the kind of people that are pillars of the community. I think it's the kind of thing that makes a community worthwhile living in. They make the community a better place for all of us and for raising a family. So.
They have brought so much to our community and supported so much in our community. It's made us all better. they're good to everyone, and I do love that about them.